Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Nick Files. My name is Nick Muley. Um, for starters, I got to say right now, I apologize for being much later than I usually am because I actually had to take care of something which went a lot later than I expected. So unfortunately, I didn't even have enough time to really post any messages that I was going to have to not necessarily postpone, but go a little bit later. But again, sometimes it's just better late than never. So again, sorry everybody for being late. Today, obviously, as you guys could probably very well imagine, we'll be continuing on from what we were talking about last week, which was talking about the Ohio State Reformatory. This time on the paranormal side of things, which, by the way, in case anybody asks, I know some of you guys probably seen the pictures of how ParasiteCon was at OSR. Had a fantastic time. Got to see a lot of the big names in the paranormal field. Got to talk to a lot of people. Few of them I could even say now at this point we're pretty much friends with some of these guys. It was just an amazing event. So it's definitely great. It was definitely a great event. But anyways, because I had to do this later, I don't have as much time, so we're gonna get right to it. But just very quickly, let's get to the comments. Hello, Eric. Yes, I know I'm here. What's up, Mort? Hello, Yvonne. Lauren, you made it. Yes, I did see your post right before. I did see your message right before I went on. So you're very welcome. Glad to know that your son is okay, which I'm sure some of you guys have heard very quickly. I mean, just actually one quick announcement is I'm sure some of you guys have heard very quickly about the typhoon that had a super typhoon that had affected Guam. It was a pretty violent storm. I think it had a name to it, I think, which somehow I didn't even realize. I forgot what the name was. It was like Super Typhoon Mauer, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm correct, but good part is whether you guys know or not, Lauren's son is okay. Just a lot of damage. Um, the only thing I know else about this typhoon was that it did downgrade to a category 4, but that's still quite a lethal punch. So hopefully a good majority of Guam's population was able to evacuate before the storm had hits. But Lauren, like I said, glad to know your son is okay, and it was my absolute pleasure to help you out. What's going on, Rita? Yes, I agree. All right, so let's get down right to it because again, I only have until 6 o'clock, so we better get started. The majority of the slideshow, anyway, is actually going to be mostly videos because for part 2, I have quite a couple of investigation videos that I was able to find on YouTube that I'd like for us to check out. Now, I haven't, once again, as usual, I haven't really seen any of these videos myself before, so it'll be the first time myself seeing these. There's quite a lot of investigation videos of Mansfield, but understandably, some of them are actually episodes, so we're not really going to be focusing on those because those are usually an hour or more. So we're going to be focusing on the less, not necessarily less popular, but the videos that are not fully like an actual series. Because also, I don't want to add them to have copyright issues. So let's get right down to it, to the paranormal side of things. So, like I said, we talked a lot about the history. And one second, because I always have to make sure that this is working correctly. Because you never know what can happen. Alrighty. Here we go. So some of you guys probably don't realize, man, OSR certainly is a place that has a lot of different types of paranormal entities and anomalies that are said to occur within the walls of this prison. So among the stories that are involved, and also a little bit more of a history lesson, if you will, that Over 100 years of varied history has been concentrated into one dynamic structure. With that history, it comes as little surprise that the Ohio State Reformatory is considered one of the most haunted locations in America. Even among the inmates, while the prison was still in operation, there were rumors of ghostly encounters. Complaints were recorded of invisible hands grasping at men while they were in their cells at night, along with unsettling noises keeping them awake. Tour guides, likewise, attest to hearing odd noises frequently and even spotting shadowy figures. Visitors report similar experiences, hearing movement and mumbling in empty cells or down vacant corridors. As with other haunted locations, many claim to feel an inexplicable chill while on prison grounds. Strangely, visitors feel cold spots and breezes on the most sweltering of days. The ghosts of these violent and maltreated men are not easily silenced. Physical interactions like being touched, hair pulled, being grabbed or scratched happen often. Visitors and tour guides have even been pushed over railings and punched by unseen forces. Stories of footsteps, which are very common, echoing throughout the building when the last employee in the building is locking up, hearing whispers and voices when no one is around, and being touched are just a few of the ghost stories that surround this historic building. Additionally, witnesses have heard cell doors slam and seen dark apparitions. Orbs and mists are often captured on photographs and videos. And also, I just recently found this out. There's a guard killed in solitary confinement. There was killed in solitary confinement back in 1932 that still does his rounds. He's been known to jab people with his nightstick and push guests. In the east wing of the first floor, this area has been pretty good for experiences and evidence lately. Rarely there is a night where nobody experiences at least a few shadow people down there. In the middle administration on the third floor is an area that gets to a lot of people. Shadow people, audible voices, footsteps, and the feeling of not being alone is the norm. In the sub-basement, this area has produced some pretty wild experiences and evidence. This area was even avoided, and even more surprisingly, this area was even avoided when the building was still in operation. In the whole, it surprised visitors entering this particular area feel sick. Also, chills and the uneasy sense someone is watching from an empty cell. A few have also, of course, and this is pretty creepy, a few have even seen glowing eyes in some of these cells as well. In the chapel, people have reported getting grabbed by invisible hands. The third floor of the administration wings are known for shadows and footsteps. In the admin basement, there seems to be two different entities down there. One's nice, while the other's not. Now, some of you guys have probably heard about this particular room, but architect Levi Schofield designed the center part of the reformatory to where during the day, light comes into the windows and form an exact and perfect X, which while I was there, we did come across this room. It's really fascinating knowing how the sunlight that enters this particular room makes that perfect X. And it's no surprise, however, that many believe that this is a portal and is often is considered the heart of the paranormal activity. Nearby in the warden's office, tour guides and visitors have reported hearing Helen Bauer Glack talking when no one else is in the room or on that particular floor. In addition, many visitors will smell roses near Helen's personal bathroom known as the Pink Bathroom. It is not uncommon for stories of a jammed camera shutter. Surprisingly, we didn't really have very many issues, obviously taking pictures, but it's not, I've heard of such stories like that have occurred in this particular area for the jammed camera shutters. So many photos are taken inside this prison. It's no surprise, of course, that many of them are focused on this area. Reports say the camera stays jammed until the guest leaves the Glack apartment. So there's obviously, if that's the case, it's got to have. I mean, that obviously means that there's quite a pretty powerful. I mean, again, I could see why it could also be somewhat of a portal of itself. I mean, the energy there must be so strong that, again, it's not a big surprise, like when these cameras are jammed in that particular area until the person leaves. And well, I didn't even know this, but apparently even the road leading to the Ohio State Reformatory seems haunted. So it's not obviously typical of such haunted locations. It's not only just what's inside the building, but also what's outside as well. Because local legend suggests it is the ghost of Phoebe Wise, a notorious Mansfield hermit and eccentric. Now, to kind of put it to an end for the information before we get the videos, the activity is always changing. There's not an area in the building that people haven't experienced something over the years. So here, actually, I'm sorry, I forgot about the video before I get to the video. So, unsurprisingly, I do have a number of photographs here that have been taken by different paranormal groups and investigators over the years. These two photos right here, believe it or not, were taken over 20 years ago, I believe. But before we get to these two particular ones, this is quite an interesting photo. I tried looking exactly which cell this was taken at, but in this photo right here, you can see, I don't know if this was an actual group or if these were just tourists going by, but that's a pretty interesting photo of the selfie that they took, and you can clearly see in one of the cells here that you can see quite a face looking in for one of the cells. I mean, if you guys could see it close enough, clearly you could see the face itself, see at least two eyes, nose, a little bit of a mouth. It's kind of hard to say, but it's quite a clear shot. So very, very fascinating. Now, of course, with these photos, obviously you can see these, and you're going to see a lot of these with a lot of the photos I was able to find. A lot of them mostly focused on a lot of orbs. Once again, I've said this previously, I'm not a huge fan of orb pictures, but some of these are quite fascinating, especially this one. It's always possible, again, that some of these are probably just photos of dust. But this one, obviously, I think is more fascinating than this one because you're actually seeing light emanating from it. So it's really interesting. I already pretty much know exactly where this photo was taken, considering that the tiers are right over here. This was taken, I believe, on the west cell block area. So, and like I said, over the next several ones, you're going to see a number of orb pictures. And these were all taken in different parts of the prison. This was all done during the same investigation. This one right here, from what the investigators said, was that this was apparently like another orb, but they actually believe something was trying to actually come out of the wall. So it may not fully be an entire orb picture. Sorry. And then over here, you got another one of these orb pictures right here. This I can clearly see was taken up in the chapel area. And then over here in the hallway, which is on the main floor here, you got two different types of orbs. One here on the left, one here on the right. It's again, not a big fan of orbs, but interesting that they were able to capture a lot. Now, I also kind of believe not necessarily that maybe this photo isn't fully paranormal because this was shot about 20 years ago. I mean, I can kind of see from the picture that this photo was at it doesn't even look like that OSR was really in that great of shape these photos were taken, because I've gone through this hallway, and unlike what it was back then, a lot of this area, a lot of the main floor area has been particularly restored. They've repainted the walls, they vacuumed a lot of the areas. They were able to get rid of a lot of the dust, dirty material, and grime. So this here, you can clearly see the paint is still peeling off. So this was definitely long before I ever came in here, and long before it was ever restored. So they've really fixed up. So it is possible, again, that it could just be dust, but again, I can't say for sure. Okay, so we got some more orb photos right here. Now this one, these are a little bit more interesting. These, I believe, it's kind of hard to say where these were taken, because again, they're so close to the wall. Um, hmm. This one also here looks kind of interesting, because it actually looks like it's kind of moving. And again, another thing too, it may not always just be dust. It could also be insects as well, just that's flying in the air. But this one here is another interesting one, seeing again that there's light emanating from this, and then there's another one right nearby it. This, I believe, I'm trying to remember, because I've seen the paint color of the wall as well as the staircase. I think this might have been taken as you go upstairs to one of the other areas of the reformatory. It's just really kind of hard to say, because again, a lot of this area since then, it's all been painted over and fixed up. So that's interesting though, with the light of this possible orb right here. These two, I'm still kind of debating on. Now this first photo, before I get to more of them, this is another interesting orb picture, seeing how it's hard to say if this is dust or not, because this actually came out pink in color compared to a lot of the other pictures that had an actual different color to it. So the pink surrounding this orb, and seeing how it's perfectly round, that's an interesting photo. Now this next one is where this is probably most likely just camera exposure, but right here they captured this interesting blue mist that came out of nowhere. They had no idea where this blue mist came from. It was cold, but obviously, even if it was someone's breath, as we all know, our breath doesn't come out blue in color. And there was no light, either that was coming off anything that was blue in color. I think there were two photos that they took of this mysterious blue mist that just basically emanated from, that just came out of nowhere or materialized out of nowhere. And it was only those two photos that had this bizarre mist that was taken, because after they took another picture, the blue mist had disappeared. This, once again, is probably another that has just, again, it could just be another dust photo. It's kind of hard to say. This, I believe, because looking at it, this room, I believe, was the hospital wing. And apparently, whatever the orb was had moved down to the ground and then moved right back up. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Right, different. Actually, no, not the. This isn't the hospital. This is actually the library wing. So again, you can see a lot of. Again, it's kind of hard to say with these, because again, it's obviously a lot more dustier and dirtier than it is today. Much of the library area, it's still pretty much like this today. I'm sure it's a lot more cleaner, but at the same time, though, it's probably not uncommon to get such pictures like this, in such a room that still hasn't been fully restored. But I like how, in particular, these two different orbs happen to show up at the same time. I don't know. Again, it's kind of hard to say with all three of them. This is another interesting one, where the orb, even though you can kind of see it's moving, it's perfectly round. This one right here is also another interesting one. These two, I like. You know, the weird thing about this picture is that whether it's dust or not, I like how these apparent three orbs, even though again it can most likely just be dust, particularly these two. Do you notice that these form almost a perfect triangle? It's kind of bizarre, more than anything. This one right here, I wish there was a way I could zoom in on PowerPoint, but it almost appears as if there's kind of a little bit of a face that's showing up in the picture. And again, this is again another one interesting one with the light emanating from it. Again, these are probably most likely just dust particles flying around. Again, it's kind of hard to say. um, this team really captured a lot of pictures that involved orbs. I mean, again, I'm not sure if these are true like artificial like orbs that they captured. That's quite a lot of them. Here's another one here that was focused. Two of them in the same cell block. I think this is. Oh wait, okay. This is actually, I believe, the West cell block once again, which you're probably wondering why a lot of, because I'm sure some of you guys have seen a lot of the shows, the videos. When it comes to the Western cell block, nobody's allowed to go up these tiers because I think, well, they haven't been allowed to be walked over for years because I think they're considered unsafe to walk on. So the top tiers here are closed as of right now, but it's the eastern tiers that you're able to walk, the 6 different tiers they have. I mean, levels of tiers that they have. Okay, so here's another fascinating one. This one if this is, I believe, another orb that's just flying at quite a fast speed. Here we are with another supposed orb that apparently is a pinkish color. I have just a few more pictures left, and then once after this, we got to get right to the videos. This is probably just, again, most likely some type of dust particle that's going through, but again, it's creating an interesting shape that's involving, again, some type of movement. Though it kind of also has kind of a misty kind of look. So again, kind of hard to say on this one. See one here right at the window, apparently. But again, that's probably just, I honestly could believe it could also even just be a piece of debris hanging from the window. But then again, you can see it's not here in this picture. And then apparently it's moving downwards to wherever this room, not exactly sure once again which room this was taken in. This one, okay, so these again, most likely dust particles, except for this. I like how this one has, again, different color to it, this time an orange color. So, yep, and it becomes a lot more clearer in the second. I think they took, oh, yeah, there's like all these different colored orbs that they taken. Like, you can see how clear this one is. And then right over here, you got basically this blue, almost turquoise, perfectly round orb once again. That's I mean, it is true. I mean, even when it comes to genuine pictures of orbs, that they can change different colors. Some of them are blue, some of them are green, some of them are blue, some are red, some are orange, different colors alike. Why apparently they appear in colors, I think most different colors, a lot of us really are not sure, but it could be, of course, based on the person's aura. The energy, the essence of the body is being transmitted in the air. Oh, that's another good one. I don't think there's anything in this area. It's kind of hard to say, but I like how this one apparently is peeking outwards. But again, this can most likely be dust particles because you can see debris on the ground. And then this over here, whoops. I don't know what just happened. Let's try that again. This over here, I'm trying to remember what they captured. think it was some type of. I think there was a shadow or something that they captured. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to really look into this one picture, but this one over here again with the bright light to it on this particular orb is fascinating. This one, I believe there might have been a shadow captured. If you guys happen to notice it yourselves, definitely let me know. So I don't know. I should have had a little bit of more time to figure out what was. I know they captured something in this picture, which this right here is the shower room. I just can't. Unfortunately, I just can't really remember exactly what they captured on photograph. I mean, what they captured on this photograph. Oh, forgot to put fade-ins for this one. So once again, we're starting to expand just a little bit into these just particular orb pictures. So you got two over here in this particular room. I believe this was solitary confinements, if I'm correct on this. Now, this picture right here, again, a lot of this is probably just dust flying around. This mist was something that, again, yes, it could be just, again, dust flying around, but this particular mist that was taken in solitary, a lot of the investigators were unable to really explain where this came from. They did explain it was a cold night. They were holding their breaths, to make sure that their breaths didn't show up on camera. But they had no idea in particular where this particular mist came from. Again, they themselves said maybe it could have just been dust flying around, but they didn't remember seeing this cloud going through through solitary confinement. So even though it's been 20 years to this day, they still have no idea where this mist actually came from. Okay, this over here, I believe I think we're getting close to down to the last of these photographs. Again, you got more of the orbs here, which both of them show that they're perfectly round. These are in two different spots. Again, it's hard to say particularly. Oh, wait, you know what? I know this room in particular. This room right here, which again, since has been all cleaned up too and restored, is where they have a lot of the vendors that were at Parapsychon. This room, on the other hand, I believe was the hospital wing. And a lot of this, what you see in this picture, is still pretty much the same as it was when I was there. So they haven't really been able to clean and restore it just yet. More of these here in the chapel. Again, you guys decide what you guys think. Again, I'm just not such a huge fan of these pictures when it comes to orbs because they could easily be debunked. But it's interesting. Now the chapel too is the same thing. A lot of the chapel is still in pretty bad shape, but I know they have been trying to clean it up. So um, the pews are still there the pews are still there to this day, but they have added more pews to the chapel over the years. So there weren't as many as you could see back then, but they've actually really added a lot more to the chapel than what it was about 20 years ago. I believe that is all the pictures. So now let's get down to the videos. Let's see how much time I have left. Okay, I only got about 20 minutes, so I may only be able to show about two videos of OSR. So let's get right to the first one and see what we see see what happens in this video.
In the first part of our investigation at Ohio State Reformatory, Nikki and Rob from Live Paranormal had possibly caught intelligent responses from a spirit named Michael.
Can you go ahead and tell us your name? Is this Michael?
We are. We're here to communicate with you. What cell are you in? Can you tell me that?
Now, Nikki and I turn our attention to the cell blocks where staff and visitors report shadow figures and full body apparitions.
There's 6 shadow men walking around after we got by. It went on for about 10 minutes. I've never seen anything like that before.
So we're going to leave Nikki. Hey, Nikki.
Hi. Doing time.
Doing time.
What's up, Jeremy?
In this cell. And I'm going to walk all the way to the other end of the prison and get my own cell. And I'm going to put a motion detector halfway between us.
All right, sounds good.
All right, see ya.
See you on the other. One more, get her out.
Okay, so this motion detector will sound off a loud alarm if something goes by it. And we'll be able to hear it. I'm going to put it right between both our cells. Okay, something walks by me. And I'm going to move before it goes off. And so Nikki's all the way back there. And I am going down all the way to the other end of the cell block to be in my own isolation session in one of these rooms. And we'll just stay together over radio and see if we have any shared experiences.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna test if you can hear me, okay?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I don't think you have me right, Nikki, so I don't think we can hear each other.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
So I just moved my camera up and down.
If you look closely, you can see the camera move bluntly up and down, a movement that does not naturally occur within the camera. At that time, I was shocked and could not decide if I had been seeing things.
Oh, wow.
It was after the investigation that I confirmed that the camera did move, and it was not my imagination. Are you near my camera right now? Let's see if it's off any kind of reading. Are you interested in this device? The thing that I'm using to film this interaction? This is to document, to capture anything you want to do.
I don't know if it's visible on camera. It could just be my eyes. Seems like there's shadow play. Definitely. Feels like it's behind me. I can kind of faintly see it out of the corner of my eye. Could be my eyes playing tricks on me. I have this thing in my left hand, the red light on it. Can talk into it. Just heard a little something settling, and I'm not moving.
There's 2 ways you can talk to me. I have a device here with this red light, and you can go up and talk to it. And even if I don't respond to you in real time, I'll be able to hear it when I play it back. Another option is if you can just come near this device and give some energy, I'll be able to know that you're next to me.
Can you tell me your name? Can you tell me why you're here?
Now, besides myself, there is a woman who came to this jail with me. Her name is Nikki. She's at the other end of this row. There's a strange sound.
Yeah, I thought you guys heard that too. I thought I did. Check it out.
You can go up to Nikki and touch her. Let her know you're here. I'm sure you'd be more interested in her than me.
I'm gonna go ahead and start another session. I didn't finish up all the way. Alright, I'm doing a recording. While I was sitting there reviewing.
This is Dead Explorer. It's not a full episode. It's just like a 13-minute video that they shot at Mansfield.
Blow. I don't know if that's just because I was leaning my head down or something was literally blowing on my neck. Sounds really weird, but if you were, can you just verify by possibly saying something here into the device in my left hand? This chain.
Can you deliver a message to Nikki for me? Can you tell her I said, let's escape? Or even better, tell Nikki that I said it's time to go.
And this video, Jeremy, is
Was that
actually...
you?
Oh, yikes.
Oh shit, the motion detector got set off.
This is also an older video, believe it or not.
What the hell?
Motion detector. Are you out here?
I'm still in my cell.
Huh? No, I'm talking to. I had just told.
Okay.
Nikki, I had just told it to go tell you a message.
What?
I told it, go tell Nikki it's time to go. And the moment I said that, that thing went off.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm not.
Oh my god.
Come out here.
Oh my god. I don't want to knock over your rig. I thought you were messing with me.
No.
I was like,
That thing has never gone off on an investigation.
crap.
It's loud, right?
Dude, it's like a car alarm going off. Wow.
Completely shocked by the experience we just witnessed, we decided to radio Rob and Todd to join us in the cell block. So I was in this cell right here. Nikki was on the last cell over there, and I put a motion detector right halfway in between us. That motion detector has never gone off on an investigation. Never. And I was in my cell, and I said, will you please go tell Nikki a message? Will you please tell her it's time to go? And the second I said that, that thing went off. Wow. In the middle, yeah.
And I was like, I heard it go sound like a damn car alarm. I'm like, what? And he's like, whoa.
Yeah, I went running because it went off. I went running down there. And then we started asking questions, so we kept hearing a lot of walking and noises from all over the place. So we're like, that's why I was like, we got to get them down here. We got to get more equipment. That's crazy, though.
One more time. Did that scare you?
That's what I was telling Nick. I figured so loud it probably scared it.
You have no
Come
reason
on.
to be afraid of that.
You
It's
can
not
do
gonna
it.
hurt you.
You can do it. Stuff like this, I'm sure, doesn't scare you. You're a big, strong man. Come on.
Can you come over here and talk to us? You don't have to hide.
What was that?
Are you up there?
What was that?
There's some type of banging noise.
Hello.
Where's that coming from?
Yes.
Was that you tapping? Could you please tap again?
There it is again.
Is that like a bird or a bat flying into something?
That's what I was trying to see.
That's incredible, though, because we haven't heard that yet.
What cell are you in? Or what floor? Level? Can you tap again, please? We couldn't hear you. Couldn't figure it out.
Were the strange noises tied to the activity we just captured? We decided to split up and investigate different floors of the jail.
Can you make that sound that you made it earlier? Looking for any kind of figure.
Yeah, this was shot back in 2014. Excuse me, not 2014. This was shot, my mistake. It was back in 2016. So it looks like they were, back then they were you were still allowed to walk on the higher tiers of the West Cell Block, because I know it's the West Cell Block that they're in.
Hey, Nikki and Todd.
Yes.
Hey, listen to this. Is that what we heard earlier?
It does sound similar.
That's the sound we heard.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter sound, not quite as deep.
Well, we heard from way higher up. That was somebody banging a jail cell door.
You know, are you banging it closed or open?
Open.
We're doing it closed.
Well, each door has a different sound. That's what we heard. That's what we heard. Yep.
I'm gonna do it open now.
Something was opening and closing the door.
Definitely
Yep.
closed.
Closed door sound.
Had a powerful spirit summoned the energy necessary to manipulate a cell door. Although it might seem unlikely, a strong presence would have been required to move the camera, set off a motion detector, and close the cell door. Combined with Rob and Nikki's experiences earlier that night, it is safe to say that Ohio State Reformatory is home to unexplained activity.
That was an interesting video. I do have another one that I'm going to present. However, let me first check to see how much time, because I only got about 8 minutes left. So we could probably watch halfway into another one, but we're not going to be able to finish it all, because this next one is about a 16-minute one. So I can only stay on for, just because I know, of course, I know nowadays, some of you guys know this, on two of the networks now, there are two shows that run right after me, so I do have to end this at 6:00 sharp. Actually, you know what? Okay, but you know what? I think maybe we should actually wait before I show another one, because otherwise I wouldn't really necessarily, I wouldn't. Well, you know what? Jeremy actually just wrote it for me. I wouldn't worry about it. So, we're probably just going to have to wait till next weekend. Guys, I apologize. I've gone a lot later than expected. I did not expect my schedule to really go this direction. It was really unexpected. So, at this point, there's going to have to be a part 3. I actually only have just a few of these videos left, because like I said, I don't want to cover all of them, understandably, because again, a lot of them are very long. And also, again, I don't want to get, like any copyright issues or anything like that. So it's probably for the best that we finish this up next week. But in addition to some of these videos I have, I would also like to present some of the videos that I've shot at OSR during our investigation that Well, Jeremy, obviously, as you know, that of our investigation that we did at OSR. So those videos are going to be longer. So if that's the case, let's see here. Wait, hang on. Live with a part 3. Yeah. Cut out clips so you don't have to. I was actually thinking about that, Jeremy, especially for my videos the videos that I shot when we were there, because again, those at least one of the videos is a good hour-long video, and understandably, because I shot 3 different videos while I was at OS when we were at OSR, and understandably, there's just no way whatsoever that I'm going to be able to show all 3 fully intact. So I'm going to have to look into the videos and try to cut them down. See, when I show these videos of investigations, I kind of put a limit together, which is I try to show videos that are no more than maybe, 25 minutes to a half hour long. That's only if, however, if there's nothing else that I have to present for the end of, before I end the presentation. So usually I no less than a half hour, but in this case for my videos, I'm definitely going to have to cut them down so it could definitely save some time. So I'll try to work on it sometime this weekend, but I don't know if I'm not sure if we really ever captured anything like on camera, but I do recall we did capture a lot of responses, a lot of unexplained noises that occurred at OSR. When I do show the videos, it should be worth noticing, saying that unfortunately, because I was filming live on Facebook and they just don't have this feature available yet, it's not night vision. So the majority of the video is in total darkness. So you're not really going to be able to see too much other than maybe a few lights from our equipment in the distance, but I'll definitely try to cut it out sometime. Very quickly, just before I get off here, guys, again, as always, like I said, I'm sorry I was late, but as often, I want to definitely thank everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's totally worth, the work putting all these slideshows together. And also, actually, I should have mentioned this right at the beginning, because again, I got 3 minutes before I got to get off here. And Jeremy, I thought you should know about it. I just completed last night my official 100 slideshow. 100 slideshows have now been officially made, not necessarily for upcoming episodes. I'm talking about episodes that yeah, I was like, yes, I was, but it was unexpected, Jeremy. It really was. I was not expecting to be late. I got left behind on schedule, sadly. So, but I'll definitely make sure that doesn't happen again. So, but yeah, like I said, these slideshows I've done, it's not just ones that are going to be upcoming. It's also for the ones I've made in the past for season 1 of Nick Files. But yeah, 100 slideshows have been officially made. It's definitely been an exhausting journey. So thank you very much, Nort. No, actually, Jeremy, no, it hasn't been 100 shows already. This is actually episode 40. I'm just saying I've created 100 slideshows because there's a lot of slideshows I have here that that are really short. If you look into the past episodes, there were some that just like went, that was like, I mean, there was literally slideshows that like, there was only like 1 or 2 slides in between. And just about 2 weeks ago, when I was still continuing my journey with Athens, Ohio, I probably did a full record of all these slideshows. I mean, of a number of slideshows. And you're going to find this hard to believe, Jeremy, because again, a lot of them were really short. I must have done, I later counted because I lost track during the show, but I went back and I counted. I had done, this is the record, this is probably what I consider my best record for number of presentations. I had done 14 different slideshows in one episode, 14 of them. There is a likely chance that as time goes by, that number could eventually surpass them, but 14 of them I've done, the largest I've done so far. Thank you very much, Charles. I appreciate it. Glad you enjoyed it, Rita. And yes, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, yes, out of my schedule. And it is tiring and stressful, but in the end, it's totally worth doing so. One final thing, just before I get off. After we're done with OSR, yes, we're going to get back into finishing up with Athens, because again, there's still a lot of other locations to cover. But before we get back to Athens, we're actually going to explore a little bit more into Mansfield, Ohio, because everybody always has their focus on the Ohio State Reformatory. What most people don't seem to realize is that there are also other haunted and historical locations throughout Mansfield that don't get as much notoriety as OSR does. So I thought it would be kind of important to bring some of these locations up and give them the same attention that they should deserve, like OSR does. And interestingly, some of these locations actually have a connection to OSR. So that probably won't be for about another good 2 weeks, but I already got a couple locations already put together for slideshows. So sorry with the dog barking in the background. So I already got a few slideshows put together. I got a few more that I'm going to put together for slides for the other locations in Mansfield, but I'll definitely get them ready. One final comment here. I'm just going to look over. Now he has 60 ready to go. That frees up. Yes. Well, believe it or not, Jeremy, I still have managed to find time to take a nap. I can promise you that, and exercise and whatnot. I tell you, I mean, yes, it takes a lot of my time, but I try not to let it take it like all of my time up. I try to definitely give myself some spare time to do other things that I need to do. But anyways, again, I'm going to get off here. Thank you guys so much for another great show. Of course, I'll see some of you guys tomorrow afternoon for To the Grave and Back, Supernatural Talk tomorrow night, and the Frighteners on Friday. So I got to get off here. I got, I think Grizzly Show is just about to come on. So until then, I'll see some of you guys tomorrow. But if not, if you guys are going to wait for the next episode, I will see you guys next week. You guys all have a great night.